Hey there and welcome. Today we're diving into something that's going to seriously level up your communication skills. We're talking about phrasal verbs. These are the power tools that take your language from just good to genuinely impactful. So, let me ask you something. What really separates just good communication from great communication? You know what I mean? That extra spark that makes someone's ideas just click. The kind of talking that actually persuades people and gets them to act. Well, a lot of the time, it really comes down to using precise language. And these phrases we're talking about, they're like your secret weapon. They're not just slang, not at all. They are super sharp, efficient tools for getting complex ideas across clearly. So today, let's build up that arsenal. Okay, so where do we start? Well, every great idea, every single project, it all begins with a really solid plan, right? So our first batch of phrasal verbs is all about that. The language you use to lay that crucial groundwork for success. Yeah, think of this as the first tray in your communication toolkit. These are the verbs that'll help you organize your thoughts and figure out exactly where you're going before you even get started. You know what's really cool about these three? They often work together like a little sequence. First, you map out the whole strategy, get that bird's eye view. Then, you've got to factor in all the little details, the budget, the timeline, what could go wrong. And once you've done all that, you zero in on the one thing that's absolutely most important for success. All right, so your foundation is set. Now what? You've got to start building. And that is exactly where build on comes into play. It's all about creating that forward momentum, taking what you've already got and using it to do something even bigger and better. When you use a phrase like this, you're sending a powerful message. You're not just pulling ideas out of thin air. No, you're leveraging what's already been done. You're showing that your idea is the next logical step, an evolution. It just sounds so much more strategic, doesn't it? Okay, so you've laid the groundwork. You've got your plan. Now comes the hard part, right? You have to actually present it, discuss it, maybe even defend it. So this next set of tools, this is all about how you shape that conversation using solid logic and hard evidence. Think of these verbs as your argument-building essentials. You have to ask yourself, does my evidence actually bear on the real issue here? Can I back up every single thing I'm saying with real data? And maybe most importantly, do all my points tie in with each other to tell one clear, logical story? Oh, I love this one. This comparison is it's all about being strategic. Look, sometimes you just need to touch on a topic, right? Mention it briefly and move on. But other times, when it really matters, you've got to weigh in on the debate. You step in with your opinion, confidently. Knowing when to do which, that's a total game changer. Okay, now here's a bit of a pro-level tool for you. Play down. When you play down something, you're basically trying to make it seem less important than it is. It's a way to manage how people see things and, steer the conversation in the direction you want. And this example just nails it. By playing down how bad the incident was, the officials are trying to control the story, right? To stop people from freaking out. It's a really powerful tactic. And yeah, sometimes it can be a little controversial. Okay, enough planning, enough talking. We've done the prep work. Now it's time to actually do something. This next section is all about the language of action, of execution. How you turn those amazing ideas into real-world results. I love this because these three verbs basically tell a story of how to be successful. It all starts when you leap at a fantastic opportunity. You just go for it. Then you have to step up, right? You put in more effort, you really commit. But honestly, none of it means anything if you don't follow through and actually finish what you started. Carry out is like the workhorse of this whole section. It's pretty straightforward. It just means to do the thing. But it sounds very professional, very formal. It's perfect for talking about carrying out research or an experiment or a plan. Yeah, you'll hear this one all the time in science, in business reports, that kind of thing. It just has this sense of process to it, like we planned it and then we did it. Simple as that. It shows diligence and, that the job got done. Of course, things never go perfectly, right? There are always bumps in the road. So here's your problem-solving toolkit. You're going to have to iron out the small, annoying glitches. You'll need to fend off the bigger challenges that threaten the whole project. And sometimes you really have to get your hands dirty and root out the real cause of a problem, once and for all. And here we are, the final stage. We've planned, we've debated, we've executed. So what's left? Well, now it's time to wrap it all up, to summarize your results, make that final powerful point, and bring the whole thing to a nice, clean finish. Okay, this might be one of my absolute favorite phrases. Boil down to. When things are super complicated and messy, being the person who can say, look, here's what this all boils down to. Wow, that is so powerful. It's like you're cutting right through all the noise to get to the simple truth. This example is just perfect. Imagine after hours of meetings and analysis, someone just says this. Boom. One sentence gets right to the heart of the problem. When you use boil down to, you're telling everyone, this is it. This is the core issue we can't ignore. And finally, let's talk about the practical side of ending things. You wind up a meeting, which is a nice, clear signal that it's time to stop talking. And you phase out an old system, which suggests a nice, gradual, planned end, not just pulling the plug suddenly. See? Both give you this great sense of control over the ending. So there you have it, from mapping out that initial idea all the way to winding up the final meeting. You've got a whole new toolkit of phrases for every single stage of a project. And trust me, using them is going to bring so much more clarity to your ideas, confidence to your voice, and real influence to your words. So I'll leave you with this question. We've just built this awesome toolkit together. Which one of these phrases, which tool are you going to take out and use to make a real impact tomorrow? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me.